Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. Miriam Silverman is dazzling audiences as Mavis in the new production of Lorraine Hansberry's The Sign in SIDNEY BRUSTEIN'S Window, and I caught up with her here at the Museum of Broadway. First of all, I'm thrilled to be sitting with you here at the Museum of Broadway.
Yes, me too.
What an incredible journey you have been on with this show. What's made this so special for you?
All of the unexpected turns that this process has taken. I think that I fell in love with this play in 2016, doing it in Chicago. And it was so successful and it felt so important to bring it that we had a couple of near misses bringing it to New York soon after that. The pandemic happened and you sort of forget and it sort of went away. And so the BAM production was like this gift that came out of the blue. And we still never expected Broadway to happen. So that's been the kind of crown jewel to actually get this transfer and to get to do it on Broadway for all of these, you know, for thousands more people over the course of these 10 weeks. It's been amazing.
Because I first fell in love with it at BAM, but I've been fascinated with this show for a long, long time. I remember seeing the window card of Rita Moreno and Gabriel Dell, that beautiful purpley white drawing of them. And I was always fascinated. I read the play, but I'm like, I got to see you all at BAM, and I was like, oh, I hope a larger audience gets to see this show. And now you're on Broadway doing this show.
I know, it's amazing. It's so exciting. And it's been such a wonderful thrill to see how Broadway audiences have embraced it. That just like feels just, you would never think it's a play from 1964 that people didn't know. And yet it's full of surprises, and so you feel like you're giving people this new experience, and everyone who comes to see it afterwards is like, how did I not know this play? And that's the best.
Okay, Mavis.
Mavis.
What a fabulous character, complex. I mean, explain who she is and what you love about her, because she's so not you.
No, she's so not me, and that's part of the joy of it, right? Because she's, you know, Upper East Side, rich, conservative, kind of seems to be, when you first meet her, pretty narrow-minded, lots of prejudices and lots of issues with the kind of milieu that her sister is, you know, lives in, and the company she keeps. And it's fun to sort of step into somebody that's so different and just to kind of both relish in the wonderful humor. I mean, the lines that Lorraine Hansberry wrote for Mavis are pretty spectacular. But also then the challenge of trying to make her a three-dimensional, whole, full human being who has secrets and finding the compassion and kind of asking the audience to have empathy for her when you sort of, it's a reversal. Like you meet her and you're like, oh, she's the one we're gonna laugh at and dismiss. And then Hansberry doesn't let you do that.
Then there's the second act.
Then there's a second act.
Sharing the stage with this incredible company, but Oscar and Rachel, what is it like sharing the stage with them? Especially Oscar, you do all your scenes with.
I know. I can't remember ever having a better scene partner than him. It is such, it's exciting and a thrill, and feels like every night there might be something new we discover. He's such a brilliant actor and such a brilliant, everybody knows he's a brilliant screen actor, right? And he's just so incredible as a theater actor also. It's so easy, you know, if ever I feel like I'm having an off day, or, you know, there's just been a lot going on, and so coming in, I just know I can relax and just be with him, lock eyes, and just, it all happens. And that's so nice. And Rachel, I only get that first act scene with her, but she's so amazing and so fun, and sort of, both of them are very playful and spontaneous, so it never feels rote. It never feels like we're just doing the same thing again night after night. It feels like alive and that anything can happen.
So that's what I love about your performance, and theirs, of course, too. I mean, you have to remember all this stuff. I know you have to be on this train, but you make it seem so new, but you got to stay in the moment. And know what you're saying. You know what I mean? It's like that fine line of really fine acting that you walk with this. And it must be so great to have just a spontaneous every night. It's all different.
It is. It's also the kind of actor I am, where I really enjoy and relish that ability to stay within the framework, stay within the structure of the language and the text and what we built, but to be able to play around. There are actors that like things to be exactly the same way, and it can sort of throw some people if even you deliver a line differently or you sort of do a different gesture. I mean, those small things, and it's like with both of them, it's slightly different and lived in and present tense every single night, and it's so enjoyable.
Your director, Annie Kaufman, I mean, this has been a love project of hers for many, many years, and to see the journey this has been on, working with her, what that's been like for you.
Annie's an incredible director. She's an incredible human being. She's the director at this point that I've worked with the most. I can easily say she's my favorite director, although a good friend of mine who's another favorite director of mine who lives in the UK saw me post that the other day and said, favorite director? And I said, in America?
Good for you. That was a quick one. You caught yourself.
But she is. I worked with her for the first time in 2014 in a Claire Barron play downtown called You Got Older. And I played the older sister who was it was a funny part, and she was kind of in your face, very older sistery. And a year later when Annie found out the Goodman production was happening, I think she thought of me for Mavis because I had just kind of lived in a more contemporary but sort of similar vibe. And so this was our second project together. We then went and did this amazing Amy Herzog play Mary Jane together. We've done lots of workshops of different new plays, and I just would follow her anywhere.
I want to talk about, you've been on quite a journey with this play, and so many personal things have happened to you during this production, which I didn't realize early on. I saw the first week of this production at BAM.
Oh, wow,
And I didn't know what you were going through at the time. And so I just want to tell our audience, you lost your mom during the first week of previews at BAM for this show. And over the years, I've spoken to many actors who have been through the same thing. And they said what saved them the most was being able to go to the theater and do what they do. And I just wanted, if you would just share with us, I can only imagine what you went through during that. How were you able to juggle grief, your performance, and how helpful your director was for you during this time period?
It's funny, I've been astonished to find out how many of my colleagues and friends and just peers in the theater world have been through something like this. I think that both Annie and Oscar, having lost parents while sort of in these big pivotal career moments, and having them really support me and hold me through the process was one of the only ways I was able to do it. It's so funny, I don't really remember those first few weeks of previews at BAM. It was like, I'm sure I was in some kind of fugue state, but it was true that Mom died on a Monday, and I remember waking up Tuesday. I mean, I can't, there are no words for the like depths of devastation. We were so close. She was the most incredible woman I will ever meet. And the only thing I could think to make me feel like a person, like a human being functioning in the world, was the idea of going and doing the show that night. And Annie was amazing. Of course, we had been talking throughout the process, and everyone knew what was going on. I missed a lot of rehearsal leading up to previews because she was in the hospital for weeks leading up to her death. But I remember Annie just very clearly saying, you do not need to do the show. We have a wonderful understudy. She's ready. So there was no pressure, but it was just this. But when I told her that I wanted to do the show, I said, am I crazy? Is this psychotic? And she said, no, this is exactly what you should do. And it was the thing that, still to this day, I mean, I'm deep in the grieving process still, and I think I will be for a very long time or forever, I don't know. One of the only other things that has helped me is just to acknowledge and accept that I'm never going to feel okay about it, And there's something in that has taken the pressure off of getting getting myself together. You know, it's like, okay, I can just be a mess, and I forget things, and I drop balls, and I am normally a very pretty organized person. And I was just like, yeah, I'll just be a mess, and I'll show up when I need to show up. And yeah, the ritual of going to the theater, of makeup and wig and getting into costume, and then I think also this play, loving this play so much and feeling a part of something that is so important, I think. I think the piece is so important. It's so important to share Hansberry with the world and introduce them to the person they know as the author of Raisin in the Sun, but actually her work was staggering in its breadth, and this play is just one piece of, you know, her life's work in 34 years, all that she put out there and made. And so having a sense of belonging to something so important is helpful too, and the fact that my role is so fun. Yeah. I do think if it was some tragic heroine or ingenue that had to die every night, I don't know that I would have been able to stay with it. I think there's actually some kind of wonderful release in the fact that I get to go make people laugh and gasp and take them on this journey, and the fact that actually there's a lot of restraint required. Part of the beauty of the character, and I think the way we've chosen to portray her in the production, is that everything is sort of bubbling under the surface, but it has to stay put together. Yeah. And there's something that is really useful in that structure, I guess. So I can be a complete mess all day and then go to the theater and sort of ground myself. Else. Yeah, it's very grounding. Yeah.
Your daughter went to see the show. Is it Stella? Is she 9?
She's 9. She's seen it twice.
Does she love it?
She loves it. After she saw it at BAM, she told us it wasn't long enough. And at BAM, it was running full 3 hours. I think our Broadway is like 2:45. And then she came to opening night on Broadway, and she loves it. And she came last weekend to the Saturday matinee and hung out with me backstage the whole time, and then was so into it that she begged to come back. So she came back on Sunday. She was there on Sunday, and Sunday we had the excitement of Oscar's understudy going on for the first and probably only time, and we were so excited. We went and crawled into the back of the balcony and watched a bunch of the show, the scenes that I wasn't in, and she watched with me.
Aspirations to be an actress now?
Yeah, big time.
It just happens. You can't help it.
No, I mean, what is there a more fun workplace for a parent? One of our ASMs said to me, "Yeah, this is a lot different than when I used to go to the bank where my mom worked."
Yeah, totally. I love that.
Yeah.
But I love that you have your family life. You're also a teacher.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so when your students found out that you were nominated for a Tony Award, what was that like?
They were so excited, and I actually didn't know if I showed up to class that morning. Yeah. Class started at 10:15, and I didn't know if they would know. I am, seniors in college, do they look at the news in the morning? I wasn't sure how on their radar it was. Although the week before, they had all come to see the play at BAM, and so they had seen it, they knew it, and the week before, they had all said, "You're going to get nominated for a Tony." And I was like, "You guys, I'm not getting nominated. That's so nice. I'm so glad that you all think that. But that's probably not happening." And they were adamant. And I said, "All right, I'm not. But if I do, I'm buying you all donuts." So I showed up with donuts. They had also bought donuts, so there was lots of donuts. And they had heard the news, and they just all kind of gave me a huge applause when I came in, and they were so excited, and it was kind of the perfect way to spend the day.
Because you work on stage, film, and TV. You're a teacher, you're a mom, you've got a daughter, you've got a son, you've got a wonderful husband. I mean, you have this incredible life that you have. What gives you the greatest joy about going to the theater and doing this play, this incredible part that you're so brilliant in?
Well, I mean, my first thought is just the people that I'm getting to work with. It's just an exquisite group of actors, stage management, our crew, our wardrobe, the women who do our hair. Everyone is so positive and loving, and it's like it really has felt like a family that I look forward to seeing. We had 3 weeks between the BAM run and coming back to Broadway, and we all really missed each other. So that's a big part of it. But also just to say again, telling this story, bringing this play. Somebody came to the theater the other night, a playwright who couldn't stop talking about the dialogue, how specifically the dialogue felt so modern, so sharp, so brilliant, and it was like, yeah, this is as good as anything that could ever be written now.
Yeah. Have you chosen your outfit yet for the Tonys?
Well,
has Stella helped you? Is your
Stella
daughter
has
helping you?
many opinions.
Okay.
Yes, I actually just came from a fitting to try on some more dresses. We've had some contenders, but I think today I found the one.
Good for you.
Yeah.
This Tony nomination, totally out of the blue, what it means to you?
It's an ecstatic experience. It feels like something that you always dream about. You always wonder if that might happen, and then you stop being 25 and you stop being 35, and you just figure, I'm going to work and be respected and admired by my peers, and I know I'm going to keep working. I have enough of a community and I'm known enough, but it's sort of that wasn't like the aspiration.
Sure.
So now it feels like this tremendous gift, an unexpected gift.
So well deserved. You are so wonderful.
Thank you.
Just enjoy the journey that you're on with this.
Thank
And thank you
you.
for making magic on stage.
Thank you
and everything
so much.
you do.
I appreciate it.